Hey guys, Lantern here. Alright, let's talk about what is Gruul Zoo with its pump version. It's pretty much standard Gruul Zoo, without much difference except that instead of using removal spells or burn spells, you're using pump. The main reason for this is because you're putting a lot more eggs in your basket. You're putting more value on your creatures and you're trying to keep them alive as well as do more damage. Colossal Might's sort of the defining card in this version versus something like Pillar of Flames, or Dismember, or any of those cool, like, cute sort of burn spells like Tar Fire or Seal of Fire. Side note, I don't know why all burn spells have to be some burning fire or something or other. It's just funny. Yeah, so that's your main difference. You're not using things like, for example, Vexing Devil, because Vexing Devil never lives. You're using things like Strangleroot Geist instead, because Strangleroot Geist has more haste and has some redundancy in the fact that it can come back to life. It's a very good card. Then you've got, Colossal Might, Mutagenic Growth, which is free pump. So Colossal Might, Mutagenic Growth, and Gore Clan adds up to about 10 different pump spells. And of course you have your sort of like your burn bolt because there's nothing better to put in that spot. It is the best burn spell. And for what it's worth, Colossal Might and Mutagenic Growth and Gore Clan can basically be seen as burn spells in this deck anyways. But they get more value for their buck. For example, Gore Clan is 2 converted mana cost to cast for its pump, and does the same amount of damage that a Boros Charm does, while maybe saving your creature too. Or can do more damage than a Boros Charm does if it's like put on a Curd Ape and the Curd Ape is being blocked by like a 1/1 Spirit token. But it does way more damage outright than a Lightning Helix does. Colossal Might also does the same thing. It's +4, so it's going to be hitting in for more damage. Mutagenic Growths are also in consideration better than Burn. So for example, let's compare this to Pillar of Flame. Pillar of Flame does 2 damage for 1 mana, where this is going to do 2 damage for 0 mana is really what it is. That's more or less what's going to be happening here. So let's move on. We're going to go ahead and play something. Now, again, we're going to be doing it more on, I'm just going to talk and create a game and see if anything happens. Normally, I just go back and review games, but since this is sort of more open-ended, and I'm just trying to grab sort of anything that comes and plays, I'm not too worried. Yeah, we found something right away anyways, so that's cool. Cockatrice has got that. I don't know how Cockatrice Forked or Project whatever it's called, Lotus is working out, but they're apparently the new Cockatrice that should be coming out sometime. Cockatrice is great because it lets me test with cards that I may or may not have. I do have all of these cards, but like with other decks, and it lets me get a feel for it. So we're going to keep this hand. It's a pretty good hand. We got a Burning Tree into Tarmogoyf, turn 1, Goblin Guide, and Gore Clan. Like I said, this is a deck that cares more about its eggs in one basket, so it wants to have that early Goblin Guide. And I'm going to crack for non-basic. I always generally do that on my turn 1 unless I'm playing a red deck wins. I need something for my Rootbound Crags anyways. Crags. There you go. You can draw your card. Verdant Catacomb. That gives us no information as to what he is. I'll give us some information. He's playing green or black in his deck. Or is he? Dun dun dun. So Verdant cracked into what? Yes, I like Verdant Catacombs more than Misty. Generally because I just don't like... no? So the Burning Tree is not actually a bad draw here. He's playing the same deck that we are. Maybe with more burn, I don't know. But we're actually going to be okay with this. See, because we're going to attack here. Because we went first, literally, we got to be the beatdown. Keep drawing your cards. Goblin Guide has been drawing so many cards recently. But also, we have more of an explosive area of attack here. We're putting the Tarmogoyf out there. I mean, if he puts a burn spell on it, he puts a burn spell on it. There's really nothing I can do about that. But if he doesn't, next turn I can end up putting a burn spell on there, and we'll trade his Goblin Guide. Well, actually, will we trade if he puts a Goblin Guide out there? Depends on what he does main phase or not. Because we have a lot of points of damage that we're looking at here. But I might be willing to trade my Burning Tree Emissary for his Goblin Guide. Because it'll pump Tarmogoyf. Alright, he's leaving a burn spell up here, which is dumb on his part, because he plays the same deck as me, so he knows that the Gore Clan Rampager can come out and put Tarmogoyf out of burn range. I'm just going to go ahead and let him have the option here. I mean, he's not doing any responses right now, so I'm declaring my attackers. That's fine, we're still going to be the beatdown here. Three draws. Okay. In that case, we're gonna go ahead and pump it. Because you'd rather keep her alive. Just apply more damage. Alright, we're definitely putting ourselves down as the beatdown plan here. Ha! His own Tarmogoyf. Sure. Here's the hoping we get a pump spell, man. Alright. He can attack with that Goblin Guide if he really wants to. Sure. Flint Hoof. That's an awful draw for him. I mean, does he realize Flint Hoof pretty much is game? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, if you see the Flint Hoof and you've got nothing, that's game, man. Do we side anything in? I don't think we actually side anything in here. We could side in more removal. But I think naturally I have... We're just going to open up the sideboard so he thinks we're sideboarding. I think naturally I have more pump spells than him anyways. So siding in a Dismember would actually hurt me more than it would help me. I mean, another Bolt would be better here. But, I mean, none of this stuff really helps. I think we're just going to keep being the aggro plane here. Again, we're more dedicated than aggro unless he's the pump version too. And we have a bunch of different pump spells here that'll help us save us from removal. So I think that's what we're going to end up doing. I mean, if he Pillar Flames the Experiment 1, we can Colossal Growth it to save it. Wait, what is this guy doing? Don't laugh. Yeah, you are. Anyways. I mean, shit, do I want to trade blockers here? Actually, I can mutagen growth, so why not? Yeah, looks like we're gonna end up playing a little bit of the. We're gonna end up playing a little bit of the removal game here. So we're gonna Burning Entry Emissary first, into Experiment 1, into a Bolt. Now we've got a better board position. Yes, this guy didn't get pumped, but in the end of the day, we forced him to have to play some cards. Regardless, even if we don't win this game, we've got game 3, which will be on the play, and this is very much a coin flip game. If he wants to attack with the Goblin guy, that's fine. Alright, so we're going to be doing removal. Game plan, because we found that. I mean, the question here is, do we attack and then Colossal Might? I think we just attack and let it be. Draw that card. Bolt that guy. Flint Hoof seems fun. Guy has been mana logged, apparently. Goblin Guide. My Goblin Guide triggers never fail. See, I probably would have done that too, even if I didn't have a Colossal Might, just because I'm gonna go ahead and sort of bullshit it and pretend like I've got that. Problem is we're now out of gas and we're relying on top decks while this guy still has cards in hand. Kitchen Finks. There's a Kitchen Finks out of the sideboard. That's gonna make my life holy hell. Wow. That sucks. We're just gonna go ahead and call it a game then. Or I guess we'll play through it just because of you guys, but yeah, we've got no chance against this card. Because Kitchen Finks will gain him life. We're at top deck mode. Ugh. Grossness. So the question is, do we bolt it now? Or do we wait for blocks to bolt it? And get rid of it once and for all. Usually you just get rid of it once and for all. So we're going to allow a trade here. Man, I wish Goblin Guy didn't give this guy lands every time. Sometimes that happens. One of the sad features of Goblin Guide is he's better in Red Deck Queens than he is in Zoo. Reason being is Zoo sometimes the games go longer and you can't like always win. But again, we're relying on strictly top decks. This guy's got access to 3 mana. He's gonna go ahead and experiment once, like a Flint Hoof Boar or something. Yeah, full of grossness. It's like the 3rd time this guy forgot about mana. I don't know. He taps his mana incorrectly. I'm not gonna be like an asshole about it, but the point is, guy has made like 3 mistakes in a row. I'm just after the first 2, you start being like, well, is it really mistakes? What? Alright, that one is funny. He decided to leave because I was being too nitpicky about the mana situation. Alright, dude, guys, here's the real deal. In PTQs or whatever, people will disqualify you for the stupidest reasons in the world. Your sleeves are marked. Your whatever. You drew 2. You looked at the top of your library. Whatever. You need to take time with your plays to make sure you're not doing anything stupid. That's like actually pretty important. And if you do stuff like that, people will disqualify you. It's not me being an asshole. It's me being like don't play incorrectly. This is a risky keep. We don't have a pump for the Curd Ape even with this keep. We have 1 turn, well, 2 turns to draw a land, so I'm going to keep it just to risk it. Because I'm a risky dude. Because it's good otherwise. I mean, if we draw a single land, we're fine. It's an effect. It's a... We didn't draw the land that we needed. Okay, we're just going to keep playing and pretend like we're going to be fine. There's a lot of artifact hate in the sideboard, though. And in this matchup against Affinity, we're going to side out pretty much all of our pump and put in all of our removal, including artifact hate. In this matchup, they're going to be faster than you, even with the pumps. So you want to make sure that you... you want to make sure that you play around this stuff. Yeah, this is gross. I don't even think we're going to be able to race him unless we grab a land, which we did in time. Let's see, how many artifacts can you sack? 1, 2, 3. And then he ends up getting a flying dude that I can't ever block. Ugh, Arcbound Ravager, you're making my life holy hell right now. You know it's fine, right? We're doing it this one instead of doing the haste, and the reason why is because while we can do the haste, I have the ability to regen this guy, and I would be okay with him sacking all of his, like, artifacts to him to try to do it. Not to mention, even if he does, I can still kill his Arcbound Ravager. And I've also got the surprise play of being able to sort of Gore Clan and Mutagenic Growth for a 6/6 trample pump to win out of nowhere. Right now, his Arcbound Ravager isn't actually that scary. Also, these guys hurt each other, so it's not like he's going to want to sack artifacts if he can help it. So we can Strangle Root Geist here, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference. So we're just going to go ahead and rely on this pump plan a little bit more. So let's see, I can bring him down to... I can bring him down to 6 more. Brings him down to 4. Which would mean he would know to leave his things up to block, which is something I don't want to do. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to just cast the... well, do we cast a Tarmogoyf? We're going to cast the Strangleroot Geist here. Now, that's not a great play, but it's an alright play. Mostly because we're going to have a blocker with that, if we need to. I mean, again, the Cranial Plating Arcbound Ravager interaction is not great right now for him. This guy has not missed a land drop. Cranial Plating? Shit. I think that's over, right? I don't have any burn. Yup. Well, what can you do? God hands, God hands. We'll put all the removal in. All of the removal. Take out all of the pump. In this matchup, you definitely are not the beatdown. To race them is to be stupid. Really is the truth. Take out them Gore clans. Now, question is, how greedy do I feel? Do I want to put the Gore Clan, take all the Gore Clans out, and then put in Molten Rains in there to kill his Infect lands? I think that's probably a better idea. Since we're dedicating ourselves down to this, cool, all the removal, keep it. We're being the control deck. We're gonna let him spend gas and then kill everything he owns. Now, I'll probably Strangleroot Geist next turn, unless he's got plays something that I really need to kill. I guess I couldn't play Strangleroot Geist next turn. I probably should have put the Rootbound Craig in. I'm just not used to playing this version of the deck with the check lands. So that is my fault. I think we actually do Burning Tree right now. Into the Pillar of Flames. It exiles it, which is bad for Goyf, but whatever. I'm going to kill enough of his creatures that does not matter. The reason I'm doing this is because the game's going to eventually be mine. I don't have to be aggressive right now with the Strangleroot Geist. So what I can do instead is just put that Burning Tree, get some value out of the burn. Now here's the question. You can sack one thing to it. So it's not that good. You may put target. Okay. So what we're going to probably do is just kill it. Now I can kill it with the Bolt, which is more than I can say for most things, because I want to highly value this Ancient Grudge, since I can use it twice in a row. So I think we're just going to Bolt this dude. Since there's nothing he can do against that. And I don't want him to even have a chance. We're swinging in here for 4 damage now. This is basically the game that you play. You stick a dude, and then you remove everything they own. Now I got a little bit of an extra chance since I was on the play to throw the Strangleroot Geist out there. Normally that doesn't happen. He's got his dude lands, which is fine. Again, this is instant speed, and I can kill his lands when they try to attach a plating to them or whatever. So he's got 5 cards in hands, but I'm not really giving him any chance to really chain any of those cards together. I'm denying him his ability to... Sure, Inkmoth Nexus. Now, I'm not going to want to take out this Inkmoth Nexus until I'm actually legitly scared for my stuff. But see, this is an awful play. He got in for 1 poison damage, and that was it. That's not where he wants to be. So we're just going to put my damage output in there. Especially since he's got this disconnect. If he's really focusing on the Infect plan right now, then... Oh shit, I could kill his land too. He does not have Metal Crafts. So we're sort of almost out of gas now, but we can probably force this play, especially with the Tarmogoyf out now. I mean, this is 6 damage, brings him down to, what, 6? Yeah. But at this point, our aggro can just carry us through, even if he puts down things to block. I mean, that's what he has to do. If he tries to attack, he can't swing my life total. He can't swing for all the infect either. He's only got, what, 1 artifact out there? 2 artifacts with cranial plating now? Sure, that's champion. That does not win him the game. I'm going to keep this hand, hope he doesn't have a super fast hand. Because we'll be able to pump Experiment 1 twice. Volt Scourge. Alright, that's not too bad. He's going to gain some life with the Volt Scourge, but big whoop. We're going to get a lot of aggro going on, is probably what we're, in the end of the day, what we're going to do. We're not going to start removing things till probably around turn 3. But if he puts out a Volt Scourge, it means he didn't really have an explosive play anyways. So Springleaf Drum, but he can't do anything with that mana. Yeah. Again, sometimes the Affinity deck just is not as fast as it should be. And because of that, it sort of just fumbles. I'm going to be hitting for more than he's hitting right now. So aggro assured, you know? Even with my lands being what they are. I'm hitting for 5 here. And I still have this Ancient Grudge coming up that I can, if he decides to put some sort of plating out there, I can sort of take him out. And that Whip Flare ain't going to do much to us. Whip Flare, what, kills one of my creatures for 2 mana? That's not fantastic for him. It means, now that Goblin Guide revealed that, I'm not going to put the Goblin Guide out until I see it. And Tarmogoyf would only be a 1-2. I believe Whip Flare would make it a, because it's a damage spell, would make it a 2-3 before that happens. Sure, plating. So I'm probably going to kill the Volt Scourge and the plating next turn. And swing in for a bunch. Now I'm not going to put the Goblin Guide out there. In fact, I'm actually going to do the Verdant. Because I don't want to play into... I don't want to play into the Whip Flare. Now, there's a good chance I'm going to take that plating out at the end of his turn, but I'm going to let him waste mana on it first. Question: should I have kept the Ancient Grudge open for next turn instead of swinging for the damage I did? Well, no. I basically just canceled out his damage. I just canceled out his damage. And I didn't know if he had the Cranial Planing either. I'm going to force him to use that mana before I pop the Cranial Planing. If he's got anything that I need to kill. Now, it's worth noting that Cranial Planing does not give a toughness bust, so you can still kill any of those creatures with burn spells. That's why I'm leaving it on the back burner. I don't actually care if it stays on there, so long as there's no real creatures for it to attach to. Totally not a 5/5. It's a oh wait, it is a 5/5. It's a 3/3 plus 5/5. Yeah, that's fine. So you can equip for 1. Might as well use his mana to equip for 1. I mean, you can't do it to activate his. I'm gonna wait till end of turn so he can't cast a creature. Because otherwise he could have tapped his Springleaf Drum for could have attached his Springleaf Drum for to put out a critter. We're gonna pop the Master. Now, Ancient Grudge really does do some work in this matchup. But the question is, do I want to... Let's see what he's got. 2 in the graveyard, and I have 1, so it would be a 3/4 Tarmogoyf, or put more hasty damage out there. Truth is, I probably want to put more hasty damage out there and just out-aggro him right now. Yeah, that's a lot of damage swinging in out of nowhere. And while, yes, he can whip if he wants... Yeah, he showed us the deck. He's just running Thought Casting. He's got some burn spells, I guess. Yes, he can go ahead and whip Flare if he wants, but it brings Strangleroot Geist back to strength, and we still have a bunch of creatures that survive it regardless. Not to mention, he does have colored mana. I thought he had to animate his Blinkmoth Nexus and Springleaf Drum in order to do it. Oh, he's looking for an answer here. Well, now he has to Springleaf Drum if he wants to Whip Flare, and even his Whip Flare doesn't actually do all that much. So he puts that guy into play. If he Springleaf Drums it to Whip Flare, then he still has... He's really digging for some kind of answer. Wow. He's got nothing. He should have Whip Flared there. Can't even do Whip Flare now. Right? It wasn't a Phyrexian mana Whip Flare. It's a red and... Yeah, this... Was he trying to find chained blockers? Seems like a really bad play. Whip Flare would have taken out these two at least, and left you with have to only block what 1, 2, 3 to survive the next turn. I mean, is he thinking he can kill me with a Cranial Plating? I mean, he definitely can't kill me with a Cranial Plating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 8? No, he totally can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He's tapped out. I don't think he's got any surprises. Yeah, I guess he was just playing it out because he was thinking I might stumble. Well, there's the Goblin Guide matchup. Alright, so that's some more pump stuff. We did Affinity, and we did the Mirror. The Mirror is a tricky one. I know we didn't actually get to finish that game. Too bad. I'm not sure if I could have taken game 2 or 3. I don't know. It's sort of a coin flip. The games you win, it's really whoever plays first. I mean, I hate to say it. It's whoever plays first or whoever stumbles. There really is no way that you can make it better, especially in this version of the deck. You can run things like Volcanic Fallout to try to make that matchup better, and even then it's only meh. That's where the White Splash comes in because it gives you things like Loom Lion. Or Lightning Helix is great, but if you're strictly staying into this green-red, that Seraph art is awesome. If you're strictly staying into green-red, you want to do Searing Blaze. Searing Blaze is the other anti-aggro card that costs 2 mana and does a bunch. Deal 3 damage to their creature and 3 damage to their dome. So it double duties for you and allows you to still be aggressive while removing a creature. Can't really think of anything else that's like fantastic against them. Kitchen Finks, as you saw, really could end a game. I mean, he was winning that game regardless, but the Kitchen Finks threw it way more into his favor. And then I guess if you're running a White Splash, so the white is better because it gives you a access to sort of cards that can become bigger, like Knight of the Valkyrie. Where's that Knight of the Valkyrie? Which generally is a 5/5 smallest, or Luxodon Smiter, which is always a 4/4. Tarmogoyfs win those matchups. I mean, it really is what you draw. It's definitely a 50-50 matchup. No buts or whatever. Anyways, so that was Gruul Zoo with the pump version. Thanks for watching.